A storm howled outside as Neil Carter sat in his grandfather's dimly lit study, surrounded by the scent of aged paper and worn leather. It had been a week since his grandfather, the legendary explorer Henry Carter, had passed away, leaving behind only a tattered leather journal. Neil flipped through its brittle pages, searching for answers. His grandfather had always spoken in riddles, but now, in death, his secrets felt heavier. As he reached the back of the journal, his fingers brushed against something unusual, a folded parchment hidden within the binding. Unfolding it carefully, Neil's breath caught. It was a map, ancient, delicate, covered in strange symbols and markings. At the bottom, written in his grandfather's trembling hand, were 6 haunting words: "Find the lost city of shadows." His pulse quickened. He had grown up hearing his grandfather's tales of lost civilizations and forbidden places. But this was something different, something real. Before he could process the discovery, a knock rattled the study door. He hurried to open it, revealing Eva Monroe, his longtime friend and fellow archaeologist. "You sounded urgent," she said, stepping inside. Neil handed her the map. Eva studied it with sharp eyes, tracing the symbols with her fingers. "This isn't just any lost city," she murmured. "It matches an ancient legend. The City of Shadows was said to hold secrets that could change history." Neil hesitated. "Then we're not the only ones looking for it." Eva's expression darkened. The Black Sun organization has been hunting for something like this for years." A cold chill ran down Neil's spine. Black Sun, a ruthless syndicate obsessed with unlocking ancient power. If they were after the city, they had to move fast. "Then we leave at dawn," Neil said, "before they find it first." The dense jungles of South America stretched before them, endless and unforgiving. Neil and Eva moved quickly, using the map to navigate hidden trails. With every step, the feeling of being watched grew stronger. After 3 days of trekking, they reached a massive stone structure, half buried under thick vines. The entrance was marked by strange carvings that matched the symbols on the map. "This is it," Eva whispered. Neil brushed away debris from the markings. "These inscriptions talk about a key. Without it, we won't get inside." Eva's eyes widened. "Your grandfather's pendant." Neil reached into his pocket, pulling out an old pendant his grandfather had worn all his life. He pressed it into the stone, and with a deep rumble, the doorway slid open. Darkness swallowed them as they stepped inside. Nearby, an ancient stone altar stood, surrounded by eerie carvings of shadowy figures and warnings in a forgotten language. The air was thick with dust, the scent of time itself lingering in the silent corridors. Then they heard it. Footsteps. They barely had time to hide before voices echoed through the chamber. Black Sun had arrived. Neil and Eva slipped into the shadows, watching as a group of mercenaries entered, led by a man in a black coat, Dante Reyes, one of Black Sun's most dangerous operatives. "Search everything," Dante ordered. "The city's power is buried deep, and I intend to take it." Neil and Eva exchanged glances. If Black Sun found the treasure first, the consequences would be catastrophic. Moving swiftly, they navigated deeper into the ruins, avoiding detection. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. Walls shimmered as if made of liquid, whispers drifted from unseen places, and their own shadows seemed to stretch unnaturally. This city wasn't just abandoned, Eva murmured. It was sealed away. They reached an enormous chamber where a pedestal stood, holding a crystal sphere that pulsed with a dark glow. Surrounding it were statues of long-forgotten warriors, their faces frozen in expressions of terror. Neil stepped forward. The inscriptions warned of the Shadow's curse, but before he could decipher more, a gun cocked behind him. "Step away," Dante's voice cut through the silence. They turned to see him smirking, gun aimed at Neil's head. A tense moment passed as Neil and Dante locked eyes, the air thick with the threat of violence. But something deeper stirred in the ruins, an unseen force beginning to awaken. "You really thought you could beat us?" Dante sneered. "That's cute." Eva's hand moved toward her satchel, where she had hidden a flash grenade. She nodded subtly at Neil. "One chance." With a swift motion, Eva hurled the grenade to the ground. Light exploded in the chamber, disorienting their enemies. Neil seized the sphere from the pedestal. The room shook. The walls groaned as an otherworldly force awakened. The shadows twisted, unraveling from the walls like living things. The statues moved. The curse had been unleashed. Chaos erupted as shadowy figures swarmed the chamber, pulling Black Sun's mercenaries into the darkness. Dante screamed as he was dragged away, his body vanishing into the void. Neil and Eva ran. The entire city trembled as the curse consumed it. Columns crumbled, stairways collapsed, and the once hidden corridors twisted into impossible shapes. "We have to get out," Eva shouted. Using the map, they retraced their steps, dodging falling debris and ghostly apparitions. As they neared the exit, the walls behind them dissolved into swirling blackness. Behind them, the ruins crumbled as mercenaries pursued them, dodging falling debris and supernatural forces. Neil lunged through the doorway just as the ruins collapsed, sealing the cursed city forever. They landed outside, gasping for breath as dawn broke over the jungle. The City of Shadows was gone. Days later, in a quiet study far from danger, Neil placed the crystal sphere in a secure vault. "We can't let anyone find it," Eva said. "Some things should stay buried." Neil nodded, but he couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows were still watching. In the dim candlelight of his study, he stared at the ancient relic, haunted by the knowledge of what he had uncovered, because some secrets refuse to stay hidden. If you love this adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because more thrilling journeys are just around the corner.